Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Thank you, Jesus. It's Friday. All right. I'm here with Corinne. As you can see, this is not mock. It's the beautiful Corinne. She is here with me this morning. Everybody welcome her with open arms. Give her all sorts of love. Tell her how beautiful she looks. She had a rough night last night. So everybody be nice to Corinne today. She's going to be joining us. Some housekeeping stuff. We have a interview coming out with Dinesh D'Souza tomorrow at 1 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out. Super excited about that. We love Dinesh. We've been friends with him forever. So that was a great interview coming out tomorrow. Check it out. And I think we're doing this again on Monday. So I'm trying to get out of here today after the show. Pray for me to get out because airlines are borked right now because of the shutdown. We're going to be talking about the shutdown today. Everything is going to kind of crazy. That's exactly where Miriam is, where Mock is today. So she is at her son's memorial. So everybody make sure that you're praying for her and pray for good travels and all of that. Real quick, you guys, I'm going to tell you about ReadyWise. If you haven't, make sure you have your kit ready to go for anything you need emergency-wise, whatever fall throws at you. You got to be prepared. Visit ReadyWise.com. Use code CHICKS10 for 10% off. Do that. Let's get into some stuff and some things. Let's do it. Trump had a press conference yesterday. I saw somebody say that it was basically about fat drugs and turkey prices. That's what I saw yesterday. I thought that was a pretty good summation, if you're blunt. And he announced an agreement with Eli Lilly. I used to work there, you guys. Eli Lilly. Worked there for many years. But he struck up an agreement with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, I think that's how you pronounce it, to reduce cost on all the obesity drugs. So like Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound. So all those drugs that cost like $1,000, he's trying to make it so they can be as low as around $149. And he's expanding Medicare coverage for them starting in mid-2026, capping copays at like $50. And then the CEOs of both of those companies, Lilly and Novo, they spoke yesterday. And it's him, I believe it's him fulfilling just another promise. He's like, I'm going to try to get some of these prescription drugs down. I'm going to fulfill this this promise. And it's a good thing, right? Because these drugs are in high demand right now. Everybody's wanting to take them. Plus, there's a lot of people that are taking sort of it's like they're not from these companies. They're taking them
like compounded Chinese,
right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
you see a lot of that on social.
I love that he just talked to these CEOs and got this done instead of being like really anti-pharma in the media and like trashing them and then passing some legislation that like actually hurts all of these companies. Cause he's like, I don't want to hurt these companies. I just want them to lower their prices and we can get that done with a conversation.
Totally.
And I think that is so weird for Washington. Like they don't do stuff like that usually, but Trump is like, I don't really care what they normally do. I'm going to do some different thing.
Totally. Because they usually demonize, the free market. They demonize pharma. And it was nice that he didn't do that. So during the meeting, the Novo Nordisk executive, his name is Gordon Finley, he collapsed. So thank goodness that, he was okay. I think he ended up being okay. But thank goodness there were medical people right there to help him out. But we have a video of that happening, you guys, in case you missed it.
You okay? Were you okay?
Yikes. And everybody was mad that RFK walked away, but I'm pretty sure he was going to get help. I don't know what RFK would have done in that situation.
I feel like he was going to get help too. I don't know why standing there and like looking like, oh no, would have helped him.
I'm going to go ahead and let the doctor handle it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's like a new meme format where it's like Trump standing and then just like people fainting in the background. And it is just it's not a hilarious situation like in reality because that's obviously scary, but it is a hilarious shot, like still image out of context. It's crazy.
And some people are saying, I think he fainted because he's losing a bunch of money on these drugs. Yeah, people are speculating that. Anyways, I feel like what's really going to cure obesity in this country is socialism. Because you don't see a lot of fat people in bread lines. If this is what we're heading towards communism and socialism in a lot of these cities and places across the country, I feel like that'll do it. But there's a lot of obesity in the country. I'm glad to see that he's tackling this, I guess, and trying to get these drugs more accessible to people. I guess that's good.
A
But
lot of people like them.
right, exactly. This is tangentially related to obesity, but I saw this video yesterday about fat privilege, categories of fat privilege. And so this is what liberals do. They create categories, and I did not know this was a thing. I thought I'd pass it along, but you guys check this out.
So it's based on your shirt size. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. Is based on what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in, and like the privilege levels of like what fat means to different people.
So there's fat privilege, like different categories. And if you're super fat, I'm wondering, do you get to wear a cape? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Super. Yeah, I want to criticize, but actually the scale seems pretty appropriate.
Do you think
I'm
so?
on board.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
small fat, big fat, super fat. Yeah, I don't think anybody would like it very much if I started referring to people like that.
You're
but-
super fat.
Yeah,
Woo!
super fat.
Right.
But yeah, it makes sense. But
Yeah.
but also like she thinks small fat would be the most privileged, but super fat would be on the scale of oppressed people, which liberals love. Like, so would
Yes.
super fat be the goal because you're most oppressed?
I guess.
Or do
I
you
think
want to
that,
still be small fat and be privileged? Because isn't privilege like a bad thing?
yeah. And so I guess somebody who's like thin or lean is like super privileged. I don't,
Yeah.
it's very bizarre. All of it's bizarre. They're constantly trying to make themselves victims and oppressed somehow. So anyways, there's levels of fatness and oppression, just FYI, you guys, because liberals are mentally deranged. And it's maybe not a coincidence that I'm about to show you this video. That's also tangentially related to the obesity stuff, but Stormy Daniels was in the news yesterday and she looks really different. I'm just pointing out, she just looks different. There's a picture of her. She looks different. Is it just me? Am I the only one that sees it?
Yeah. I don't think Stormy is on Ozempic.
I don't, yeah.
Pretty
She
sure.
just looks, but even her face looks different. Am I the only one that see? You guys, we can't be the only ones that see it. I don't know what that is. Is that,
I thought it was fake. Like this is a really big transformation, and not
It
just
is.
like the weight. Though
right?
obviously that's obvious too, but the whole look. I feel
Right.
like even her nose looks different.
Yeah. Somebody said that eventually what's on the inside shows on the outside. And I thought that was a description.
Yeah, I think you gave me like 4 things that are the reason that she looks clearly like she does now.
I did
And what was
yesterday,
it?
didn't I? Who was it? Karma,
Aging,
aging. What was the other one?
TDS,
TDS, and then
and being a whore, I think was it. And
did.
I'm glad to
I
say
did.
that I only need to check a couple of those boxes, so I think I'm fine.
Yeah,
In the
I think
long run,
those.
I'm hoping.
I mean, I'm aging, but then if you're right, if you do some of the things that she's done, sometimes it leads to that. So let that be a cautionary tale, ladies. There you go.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
am shocked though, because I swear like last year I was driving through Louisiana and I saw a billboard where she was like a guest stripper which I didn't even know was a thing,
Really?
and I'm from Nevada, so I feel really left out. But she was like a guest stripper at some club in Louisiana, and I was like, so this downturn, I don't know, maybe it started already. I didn't see the show that she was putting on.
Oh
But I
my
feel
gosh.
like in like last year.
I guess I don't even know what that's like a co-stripper.
She was like hosting a special strip.
Oh.
I've never been to one of these things, but like,
And that was last year?
I think I feel like it was 2024. It might have been
Okay.
2023, but like late 2023.
Yikes. That's a desperate place.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys, got to talk to you about Angel Studios. Fantastic movies. They have wonderful, wonderful productions. We just found a movie that proves that faith-based entertainment can actually be really awesome. It's called David. It's from Angel Studios. They're the same people that did The Chosen and Sound of Freedom and that RFK documentary that I've been like raving about over the past few weeks. It's an animated musical. It's like The Lion King meets the Bible, and it has gorgeous animations and really great songs that everybody's going to love. Like your family's going to love it. It's the story of David, who's the shepherd boy. You guys know the shepherd boy who faced down the giant, if you guys know the Bible. And if your kids or grandkids are going to be singing something anyway, like this is way better than the TikTok garbage that they hear. I promise you. It's a beautiful movie, and it teaches courage and purpose and faith, and we all love that. And I love that Angel puts out movies that you can take your whole family to, and you don't have to cover anybody's ears or eyes. And so before the movie hits theaters this Christmas, December 19th, you can start watching Young David, the 5-part prequel on Angel. So you can go to angel.com/chicks, become a premium member of the Angel Guild, and you'll get to stream it and receive 2 free tickets to David in theaters this Christmas. So that's angel.com/chicks. Do it. You will love it, you guys. You will. All right, we got to talk Shutdown because it's affecting my life today. And so we're going to talk about it. Okay. And it affected your life last night because Corinne had to deal with.
Cool with it.
Oh my gosh, you guys, hers was canceled. It's just been crazy. People trying to travel. And I don't think these lawmakers understand that. They're very self-centered, and they're getting on my nerves at this point. Senator Kennedy, he floated a bill to halt congressional pay until there's a resolution, which I love, right? Because it's mirroring the federal workers not getting paid. And that's great. And out of all people, Rand Paul was like, no, I don't want to do that. So this is a big drama now. First, we have Kennedy.
I, like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're going to be in the shutdown a while longer. That doesn't give me any joy to say that. In the meantime, none of our staffs are being paid. No federal employees are being paid. I got some numbers in this morning that federal workers have had to borrow $365 million so far during this 36-day shutdown in order just to pay their rent. Our military is only being paid partially. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. People who receive SNAP payments are only being partially paid. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody go hungry in America, and that's not a partisan statement. I think that's a bipartisan statement.
You hope so.
There's precedent for this, Mr. President. Some may say, well, this violates the 27th Amendment. I don't think it does. That's why I'm offering 2 different flavors of bills. But in 2013, President Obama did the same thing that I'm doing now. They were in a shutdown, and President Obama supported legislation that said, if you don't open up government by this certain date, then you're going to lose your paychecks. And guess what? Members of Congress had an epiphany.
Isn't that
they
interesting?
Found religion. They had a Damascene moment, and they opened up government.
Yeah. So he did that. And then Rand Paul was like, you know what? I'm going to draw the line at my own wallet. I don't want to do that. I don't think that bill is something that I want to get behind. So here he is talking.
It's time that instead of closing the government down further, that we begin to open up government. What I will offer is legislation that instead of closing government down further, begins to pay those who are working, pays our soldiers, pays our air traffic controllers, pays everyone who's showing up for work. I think this should become a permanent feature of our government. I think it's disruptive. I think it's unfair. And I think it's wrong that we don't pay the workers that are showing up. But a better way than isolating out different groups and punishing different groups is to actually pay those who are working. And I think we should do this. If we pass this legislation, this would never be a problem again. We're going to run into disagreements in the future. We're going to have times when the government shuts down, but there's no reason that we shouldn't be paying our government workers. So I asked that the senator modify his request so that instead of the Senate proceeding to the immediate consideration of calendar item 191, that S3012, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to consider be considered, made, and laid upon the table.
Okay. So he is not on board. And just keep in mind, he voted with the Democrats.
Yeah, I do. I love Rand, but I feel like he's just stuck in this thing where he has to say no to everything. And
Like he
this
has to be the
is a rare,
contrarian. He's Mr.
yeah,
Contrarian.
and this is a rare
Mhm.
occasion where he should absolutely be on board. Like, I don't know any libertarian who's not ready to not pay people. That's like,
Right.
that
Exactly.
seems like, but he's like so used to saying no that he reflexively is like, no, oh, I'm not even.
Yeah.
Why would you
Agreed.
argue to pay these people? They're
I
not
know.
working.
I totally agree with you. I wish he would just do this. And now we're faced with this whole filibuster, like ending the filibuster thing. Democrats are going to do that as soon as they take power. I
Mhm.
just feel like we need to go balls to the wall. We need to do everything. I used to not feel that way. And now I'm like, we need to do whatever it takes to get everything passed in the next 3 years, because I'm looking around the country and I'm seeing all the crazy, and I'm seeing these people get elected and what happened in the election this week. We need to do whatever it takes to get our agenda forward. That's how I feel about it. And you may disagree, and that's okay. But
No,
that's how I feel.
I'm totally with you. And I also think, like, okay, if you don't want us to end the filibuster, then get to work. Like, I think it was
Right.
Trump threatening the Senate, like, if you do not do something, that's fine. I'll blow everything up. Like,
Right.
if you don't want to play, then I'll destroy everything and I'll do everything you don't want to, because I'm not doing nothing. We're tired of doing nothing.
Right.
So,
And the American people are tired of nothing being done. That's not
yeah.
what we voted for. And we have, I feel like, a very limited time to get
Mhm.
shit done. And we've got to get it done, So that's
Yeah.
where I am on that. And then you've got Democrats that are out there doing interviews. Like Jamie Raskin was interviewed yesterday. The messaging out there, and they're doing this. And listen, I feel like they're maybe not winning, but they're gaining such an advantage with their messaging because of things like the election. I feel like they were
Mhm.
very effective in their messaging and making people think that it's our fault, which is insane.
Mhm.
But they're doing it, and they're kind of winning on that point. So listen to Raskin spin.
In terms of the shutdown, Speaker Mike Johnson earlier pouring cold water on what looked like maybe a potential off-ramp when he said he would not guarantee a House vote on extending Obamacare subsidies, even if Senate Republicans would commit to one. So are all hopes for that potential off-ramp at this point dead in the water?
No, I think that's bluster on his part. The politics have turned very sharply against the Republicans on this. They saw the landslide Democratic victories across the country because of the Republican government shutdown, as Donald Trump says, and because of the assault on health care, the assault on food and the SNAP program, and now the attack on the airports and air flights. I mean, they are demolishing our ability to function in society, whether we're talking about healthcare, we're talking about food, we're talking about transportation, and they've shut the entire government down. And it's extremely unpopular. Donald Trump's poll numbers are plummeting. The Republicans' poll numbers are sinking, and they've got to come back, sit down with us and negotiate. I mean, they can negotiate with Vladimir Putin in Russia and President Xi in China. They'll meet with Kim Jong-un, but they won't sit down and talk to the Democrats about making the government work for the American people.
Notice how everything is an attack, an assault, and a war with these people. Notice?
Yeah, and I just love, don't let facts get in the way of your tirade, Jamie.
Mhm.
He's pretending that Trump has not negotiated with anyone. I think they have been negotiating on the Hill like every day.
Mhm.
They have staff, or the president himself has tried to get deals out there. But it is such a thing that Democrats do that Republicans won't do, because they're like, oh, that's not 100% true. Democrats do not care. He's like, Trump is evil. He's not even talking to us. He assaulted, shut down, attacked. Never stray from the narrative. They are
Right.
so good at this
They're
absolutely extreme.
They're drama queens.
so
Absolute
drama.
drama queens. Yeah, you touch them and they're like, "Oh, you broke my arm."
Exactly.
That's
Every
who they
single
are.
time.
Every time. It's ridiculous. But it works with so many stupid people out there with all the
It does.
lofos. It's starting to work. I mean, to his point, this last election, we got clobbered. So
Yeah.
I gotta
But
look at
even
that.
that, it's like they will promote that as the biggest victory ever. And it's like Democrats win in New Jersey. It's like, oh wow, big shock. They won
I
in
hear
New
ya.
Jersey, Virginia, New York City. It's like we barely had like an Ice Cube's chance in hell to win any of those in the first
I hear
place.
you. Yeah.
But they will pretend that there's like, you did this because you guys are all so bad, and it has nothing to do with the fact that we've gerrymandered the heck out of all of these states and made it basically impossible for a Republican to win in the first place.
Right.
But like, Republicans win, one fewer House seats than we expected, and we're like, it was a bloodbath. We suck. Like,
I actually hope that it fires Republicans up.
I hope so.
I actually hope that this week makes people go, oh my God, and it freaks people out, and then it makes them go vote the next time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a good thing. There's the silver lining, right? And then you got, if you're wondering what other Democrats were doing, there's this chick, her name is Yasemin Ansari. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She had this smart ass sign. She was outside of Speaker Johnson's office yesterday with this sign. And this chick made history. You probably can't read the sign. See if I can you guys read it? Can you read that sign?
Mike Johnson is starving families and getting health care to cover, and what is it?
Cover up the Epstein files.
Families and gutting health care to cover up the Epstein files. Changed my mind.
Yeah. So she was the first, I guess, the first Iranian-American and the youngest person ever to be elected to, I guess, like her district, anyways, she's in Arizona. She's in Congress now. She represents Arizona's 3rd congressional district. And then she speaks at like the No Kings rally, which I think is really, that to me is the most interesting, because she is an Iranian-American and she's a Democrat speaking at a No Kings rally. Like, make it make sense. It's nuts. But she's out there, and we have a billboard near my house in Texas where they're like, why won't they release the Epstein files? This is such a talking point of the Democrats now, which is so absurd to me, because it's like, why weren't you guys talking about this 2 years ago? Yeah, now all of a sudden you want to talk about this? It's insane. So she was doing that yesterday, which is ridiculous. And then also airlines are canceling flights. So, I got a notice yesterday that was like, hey, you've got 3 choices. You can keep your flight, which I'm doing. I mean, if it's a 15-hour drive, but if I feel like if I'm going to get canceled, or if my flight's going to get canceled, it's going to be on the way back, because I have a connecting flight. And that's where it gets really sticky, is all these connecting flights, because my connecting flight is in Atlanta. It's at Hartsfield. And there's a lot of flights that are being canceled out of like the major hubs. But this is the kind of stuff that people are getting. Like, your flight's canceled due to the FAA mandated airspace restrictions. They're just United, Delta, all the big ones, American, they're just canceling. Hundreds and hundreds of flights are being canceled. You've experienced this. I already got two emails from Delta saying, listen, this may happen, just brace yourself. So we'll just let you know, like, if it happens, it happens, kind of a thing. So I'm just so irritated with the government right now, because it's affecting it's really affecting people's lives at this point. So they need to get their crap together.
I'm hoping, like, the silver lining in this is that it does affect people's lives enough that they actually demand that Democrats get to work and do something about this.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, if you're not a SNAP recipient, it's like, or a government employee, it's like, I don't really know if I noticed that the government was shut down.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to fly home, or like get to a wedding, or get back to your baby, like me.
Yes.
Then you're like noticing that these flights are being canceled, and it's so disruptive to your life. So obviously I've already put all the pressure on my guys. They've been doing their job to try to get this government open. But I hope that Democrats feel the heat from normal people that just want to get home, want to get to their friends.
We're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. I mean, this is, just think about that. People are going to be, can you imagine if this is going on during Thanksgiving? It will be like I said yesterday, a clusterfuck, you guys. It's going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. Real quick. So about a month ago, I knew I needed a little bit of a reset. I was eating way too much sugar. And so I tried Prolon. My daughter-in-law and I did it. She wanted to lose a little bit of weight. She wanted to start a weight loss program. And I just wanted to get off sugar. And so we both did it. I really liked it, you guys, because it did help me get off all the sugar I was eating. It's a 5-day fasting mimicking diet. Okay. I cannot do full on fasting or intermittent fasting even because I have chronic migraine and some other autoimmune stuff. I need to eat. That's I'm just not I can't stop eating kind of person. If I don't eat, bad things happen. So Prolon lets you do that, but it mimics fasting. So you can get the benefits of fasting with a science-backed structured approach. It makes you stay on track. You see results. You actually, she lost some weight. I think I lost a few pounds, but that's not what I was trying to do. And you can burn fat, maintain muscle. It puts you in ketosis. It's plant-based, which I'm a meat eater, but for 5 days, I did like a lot of soups and teas and snacks and all that kind of stuff. It's organic and it just sort of resets your body. So if you're looking to start a diet or you just want to like start eating healthier or you want to help your metabolic health, you want to give your body a reset, Prolon is such a great way to do it. It's got research and science to back it up. And they're offering our listeners 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. So visit prolonlife.com/chicks. That's prolonlife.com/chicks and get 15% off. Do it. Okay. Nancy Pelosi, she's officially retiring. It is official, you guys. And people have stuff to say about it. She is 85 years old, which there shouldn't have been a question whether or not she was going to retire. She should have already retired like many years ago. She's been in Congress 40 freaking years. And that's almost half a century of like sucking off the taxpayer teat. And she will ever be the poster hag for term limits, at least for me. I look at her net worth is around $400 million. That's a life of public service. That's what American public service will get you is a net worth of around 400 mil. So there's that. Trump had some comments about her.
She's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country. I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your attention to this matter.
Thank you for your attention. Do you remember when Trump was president the first time and she was Speaker of the House and he canceled her trip to Afghanistan? Because we were going through a shutdown then. And he was like, yeah, you're not going to go. Like he sent her some sort of an email or letter. And he was like, yeah, you're not going to Afghanistan. And she got all pissed off. And do you remember that? Do you remember when that happened, you guys? I loved it.
So many little good fights between the two
good
of
times.
them.
They hate each other so much. And I'm there for it. I just love how he would be like, Neener. And he tried to get her and she just could not stand him. And so, yeah, it's that no love lost.
I know
right?
people are kind of mad about this statement. I saw this morning on Twitter when I was just scrolling through. Me neither. But I'm glad, I'm glad that Trump isn't pretending to like her now when we know that he doesn't like her. Like Paul Ryan put this statement out that's like, she's been so great for advancing the cause of women in leadership. And
oh my God.
Like she's, first of all, don't speak for women, Paul. Like, no. I don't feel like that at all. She's never advanced anything that I believe in.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, she is instrumental in being such a voice for insider trading for women,
yes.
Women in male roles. I feel like she really did a good job with that one, but otherwise, I'm like, I don't congratulate her on behalf of women.
I know. And speaking of insider trading, I love Scott Jennings' take on this. So you guys check this out.
She made them really angry, but at the end of the day, there was often grudging respect for some of the skills that she brought to the table.
Oh yeah, there were people who respected her legislative ability and, being a political boss. I mean, she was the boss of her conference.
Nancy D'Alessandro.
And there is, for political operators, a lot of respect for that. I'll tell you this, I don't know how much we raised over the years off of sending out fundraising appeals based on Nancy Pelosi, but it was a metric butt ton. I'm telling you right now, putting Nancy Pelosi in fundraising mail or fundraising emails would always produce. And by the way, it's not often that someone can become a titan of both Washington and Wall Street. Republicans will remember her as one of the most successful and prolific day traders. She beat the S&P 500 by 559% in her stock portfolio. She's worth a lot of money. She did an amazing job. So what a blow for the financial houses today on Wall Street. I'm sure they're mourning.
Just getting in an elbow, right?
Yeah, really.
She deserves it. Can you believe that?
So good.
What a crook. She's a total crook. So she doesn't deserve respect. She doesn't. It's kind of like you say the things about how these people, now that she's retiring, they're like, I'm going to be nice to her. Why?
Yeah. No, I do not feel like, if you don't want to say anything, like, then fine, don't say anything.
Don't.
But I'm not going to like fake say something nice about someone who like last week said that Trump is the most vile person to exist. Like, I don't want my president to go suck up to her now. But that was great from Scott. I love how sarcastic he was in every false compliment that he gave there.
It was fantastic. Yep. And then meanwhile, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene weighing in on her on CNN now. This is very interesting. Listen to this.
Pelosi, she had an incredible career for her party. I served under her speakership in my first term of Congress, and I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement, but I would like to see people exit Washington a lot sooner rather than waiting.
Yeah. I just want you to compare and contrast, because she's very different than she was when she first took office. Here's a compare and contrast for you.
Nancy Pelosi is.
I wish her well in her retirement.
That's how bad Nancy Pelosi is. She's the most failed leader, the worst Speaker of the House in American history.
I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement.
It's a crime punishable by death, is what treason is. Nancy Pelosi is guilty of treason, and we want her out of our government.
That's interesting. Like, she was calling for her death like just a few years ago, and then she's like done a 180. It's just, what is that?
I don't get it, because I feel like I've defended Marjorie Taylor Greene so many times over the years, because I don't care if someone's a little bit crazy. Like, if you're I prefer my girls a little crazy, if I'm honest.
Right. I respect that, Corinne. I totally respect that.
But you have to be a loyal crazy. You can't be crazy and disloyal to my cause. Now I'm not with you anymore. I'll defend you if you're a psycho, but like, if you're on my side,
right?
Don't be against me.
You gotta be consistent and psycho.
Yes.
You can't be like all over the place and with everybody and just fly by the seat of your pants psycho. You have to be consistent. Yeah. And she's not. It's like, and it makes me wonder what is going on with her. What's happening?
I'm really wondering what she's aiming for here, especially with this. Like, I know she's been hard on the Israel issue, and everybody has kind of criticized her rightfully for the position she's taken on that. But like, Nancy Pelosi, for all of the things she isn't a very anti-Israel candidate politician. So why is she complimenting her, except that she wants a spot on CNN? Like, is this deeper? Do you just actually want to do liberal news now? Like, what audience are you speaking to?
There are a couple different possibilities, right? That could be it. I mean, she says people are hinting at the fact she wants to run for president, which I think would be an absolute colossal disaster. But if that doesn't work out for her, perhaps there is a spot on CNN or The View, because I think she would be really good at either one of those things,
She can't be crazier than the women on The View. So fine. No. Maybe that's perfect for her.
Fit right in. Fit right in. All right. So we need to talk about some more illegal immigration stuff, because it's been a hot minute since we've done that. Democrats are still mad about it. There's this Democrat from Illinois, Mike Quigley, and he's lying. And so we need to talk about how much of a lying liar he is. So he put this out yesterday about how ICE was pulled a teacher out of a classroom, a preschool teacher, and is basically like kidnapping her. Okay. He put on X, this isn't going after the worst of the worst. This morning, they took a preschool teacher without a warrant in front of children in my district, which is a freaking lie. Okay. I'm so sick of this, because the problem is when people like Mike Quigley lie about this stuff, the toothpaste is out of the tube. It's hard to put it back in. People believe it. And they're like, oh my God, zip ties, and they're kidnapping, they're shoving people in vans. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. So the Washington Post glommed on, of course. I think there's another clip, Valen. Do we have another clip of Mike Quigley talking about? Yeah, there it is. So that's basically what happened. All right. This woman's being brought out, and we'll get to it. But what happened, let me tell you what the Washington Post said, of course. The Washington Post glommed on, and they said armed ICE officers arrested a teacher early Wednesday in Chicago after chasing her onto the grounds of a private preschool and grabbing her as parents and students looked on, according to a local official and witnesses. Okay, so here's the Washington Post screenshot. That's what they said. All right, there they are. They're glomming on. They're also, and of course, community notes are like, you're full of crap. We hate you. You suck. Okay. And here is the response of Homeland Security, which gives us the actual story of what actually happened. Okay. So here's Homeland Security. We've got their tweet. And I think it's going to be tiny font. I'm going to have to read it. Do we have that? Please tell me we have that. Valen, for the love of God, tell me we have that. Okay, there we go. It's so tiny. How do you people sleep at night after lying all day to the American people like this? ICE law enforcement did not target a daycare and were only at this location because the female illegal alien fled inside. Here's the real story. Officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop of this female illegal alien from Colombia. Officers attempted to pull over the vehicle, which was registered to a female illegal alien with sirens and emergency lights, but the male driver refused to pull the vehicle over. Law enforcement pursued the vehicle before the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female passenger fled the vehicle. They ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not in school. Upon arrest, she lied about her identity. The vehicle is registered to her name, although she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving the car and just picked him up from a bus stop. Facts including criminality and information on the male assailant are forthcoming. We will update the public with more information as soon as it becomes available. So the news, these media sources, and all of these people, and including this representative, this person that is paid by the American taxpayers, lied. They lied. And so people need to know. It's a fabrication. It's all bullcrap.
Yeah, and even the premise, this idea, like they're not going after the worst of the worst. To be honest, I don't really care.
Right.
I would like them to get all the criminals out, of course. But anyone here illegally is taking a job from an American, taking a house from an American, inflating the cost of our schools, of our food, of everything. And I don't really need another sob story about like, oh, this was a teacher. I'm like, why the heck do we have illegal immigrant teachers? Like, it's fine with me if they're deporting them. Like, they should be deported. Yeah. We offered self-deportation. We're not trying to drag anyone out of
$1,000 with $1,000.
We got to get out.
Right. It's like, I feel like we've been so benevolent and getting people to leave, on their own. And just the media coverage of this has been so irresponsible, but I don't expect anything more than what
it's every single time too. Just
it
like
is.
In DC when they got that guy and it's like, he just wanted to get back to his family. And it's like, he's actually a pedophile. And they're like, oh, it's okay. We still defend him.
Right. Exactly. It's crazy. And all the things that you just said, you could tell to this next lady, because this is a woman on the interwebs who is talking about immigration and she's a liberal. And she's like, why am I supposed to hate them? Explain it to me. Listen to this.
Very genuinely understand why I'm supposed to care if people immigrate to the US illegally. Like, obviously some people are just racist and some people are just stupid. But even like left-leaning people say, well, you got to do something about the border. Why?
Oh my God.
I don't understand why this should bother me in any way if as many people as want to come here. So if somebody could help me understand that would be great, because right now I just don't know why I should give a shit.
Yeah.
If she doesn't care, why does she care if I do?
Right. I know. It's a great question. But she's also the kind of person that would be like, oh my God, I'm totally voting for Mamdani. I do. I love him. I love him. I can't tell you why, but I love him. But this is the thing. She doesn't understand. And she probably doesn't live in an area where it's inundated by illegals that have come in and they've affected the ecosystem of that community. And that's a lot of them don't. They just don't care. Or, somebody said in here, ask Lake and Riley's family why it matters. Ask.
I know they always want to talk about privilege and check your privilege. It's like, okay, this is the most privileged stance that you could possibly take to pretend that it doesn't affect families, especially lower income families. Those are the hardest hit. So if you're pretending to be a compassionate person, well, you are just pretending, because it is not compassionate at all to not know why these things are important and why they affect families in the United States.
And so many of these young kids who are the ones who I say young kids, because they're the ones who basically got Mamdani elected. They're the ones complaining about, I can't afford things. I can't afford a house. I can't afford healthcare. I can't afford all these things. Why do you think that is? There are reasons that you can't afford things. And partially, one of the partial reasons that you can't afford, because we have been inundated with illegal aliens that are in here and we are paying for them. And they can't see the big picture of all of that. It is a financial
drain. It's not
that
difficult. They don't want to see it. And I don't really know why.
Yeah. I think they've been taught that if they do see it, they're not being empathetic. And it's a feels issue. Because they've been taught that it's not.
But you're lacking empathy for your fellow Americans.
Well, America sucks, don't you know? I mean,
I guess
America's terrible. Everybody else is
true.
great, but America sucks. You know who else sucks? This new pope. Listen, the new pope was lecturing people yesterday. I think it was yesterday, on how we're going to have to answer when we go to heaven. If you're a Christian, you're going to have to answer for how you've treated foreigners. Which is rich, considering that the Vatican is actually a country, albeit a small one, and they don't let foreigners in, So I just find that very interesting and hypocritical coming from this Pope, because perhaps he will be judged for his elitism, right? And hypocrisy on this issue. But anyway, here he is.
Church is to preach the gospel. And just a couple of days ago, we heard Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25, which says, Jesus says very clearly, at the end of the world, we're going to be asked, how did you receive the foreigner? Did you receive him and welcome him or not? And I think that there's a deep reflection that needs to be made in terms of what's happening. Many people who have lived for years and years and years, never causing problems, have been deeply affected by what's going on right now. The spiritual rights of people who have been detained should also be considered, and I would certainly invite the authorities to allow pastoral workers to attend to the needs of those people.
Yeah, y'all try to break into the Vatican, I dare you.
Yeah. So many misconceptions in that whole. First, I don't want strict immigration policies out of hate at all. Like, it's not a lack of compassion. These are not compassionate policies. How did you receive the foreigner? Oh, well, I let my borders open. I let them be human trafficked and put in the back of vans and overheated and sex traded and became drug mules. You think that is compassion for immigrants?
Such a fantastic point, Corinne, because he said nothing about the 300,000 plus children who were trafficked into this country, some of them still may be here, and unspeakable things may be happening to them. Does he give a shit about them? What about them?
It's just like standing on such a false, sense of idealism, like, oh, well, at least I said I love immigrants. And it's like, I didn't do anything to help them at all. I actually supported policies that hurt immigrants more than any other kind of policy. A strict immigration policy, obviously, I'm for America first. That's like my first. I care more about Americans, but it benefits both sides to know who's in our country, to not allow women and children to be exploited by bad actors who do terrible things to these people getting over the border illegally.
Right.
Like, you are not a hero for pretending that stuff does not happen.
Right.
It's just so gross to me. And
it is
from a
gross.
spiritual leader, it's just so
I know.
upsetting.
And it's constant. I thought he would be better than the last one. I absolutely love immigrants too. I love legal immigrants. I mean, if it wasn't for legal immigrants, there would be no mock. You know, I wouldn't have a best friend that I do the show with. So I love legal immigration. I love legal immigrants. I just don't like it when people break our laws and then they put their hands out and they say, you owe me something. That's wrong. You know, I feel like the sense of entitlement and that sense of I'm allowed to break the law and you're going to like it. There are laws for a reason. It's not a buffet, man. You don't get to pick and choose which laws you break. So I would wonder like how the Pope would feel about if I said, okay, so what laws are good and what laws are bad? Do you get to decide that from a religious perspective? Like, okay, so if this law is okay, then is murder okay? Is like stealing okay? Because in essence, some of this is stealing. You know, I just need to understand what's okay and what's not in your eyes.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
I think it isn't. And I think he could just be so much more vague. Like, I don't know why these popes always have to take such a political policy stance when you could be like most ministers and priests even that are just like, you should have compassion for other human beings. I'm like, okay, that's a perfectly fine position. I don't need you to tell me, like, I don't need them to be so specifically critical of policy that they clearly do not understand.
Yeah. It's just
I don't know why they do that.
Huge disappointment. Huge disappointment, you guys.
I know, from the American Pope.
Right. And you know what's not a huge disappointment? I am not the segue queen. I'm doing the best I can. Mock is obviously the segue queen, but what is not a disappointment is Healthy Cell. You guys, I love Healthy Cell. And the people who have been here for the past few years have seen my hair go from really short and layered and a hot mess, to actually growing again. And I owe it all to Healthy Cell. Hair, skin, and nails. I will scream about this stuff from the rooftops every chance I get because I wasted so much money on other crap that did not work. It is obscene how much money I wasted. I did like all the supplements and topical stuff that didn't work. And I think a lot of it had to do with absorption because Healthy Cell absorbs like 167% better than other stuff. But also they just didn't have the right formulas. And Healthy Cell knows what they're doing. They do all the stuff. They have all the great stuff in their formulas. And I started seeing a difference probably within like 3 months. And then I was hooked. It has like collagen and hyaluronic acid and ceramides and I boost your collagen. And I look forward to taking it every day. I put it in my fridge and it's like a little treat at the end of every day. And it's just been miraculous for me. I will take this stuff forever. It has about like the equivalent of like 7 pills in it. And it just is the greatest. I love it. Whether you're menopausal or your hair is just going haywire or you have breakage or dullness or hair loss of any kind, you guys, I just give it a try. And I think you're going to like it. So go to healthycell.com/chicks, use promo code chicks for 20% off your first order. That's healthycell.com/chicks, code chicks. Because some of us don't have long, luxurious hair like Corinne. We're not.
Everybody has said how great your hair looks today. And I said it first thing when I saw you this morning, but everybody in the comments is like, gosh, Daisy, your hair looks amazing.
That's very sweet. It's finally growing a little again, you guys. So it's great.
It's working.
Well, thank you. So we got to get back to the continued backlash of the Mamdani reign that is going to happen now. But first, we're going to, just before we get to the Mamdani stuff, there was a video with Sydney Sweeney. You guys remember her and the jeans commercial stuff, you know, because she's white and she's pretty and she's got boobs and you're not supposed to have any of that stuff in 2025. There's an insufferable liberal chick who was interviewing her and trying to get her to apologize for being beautiful and white and having a great body and being Sydney Sweeney. And you guys check this out.
Criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
I mean, she's just her face was so based. You know, she was just looking at her like, you are insufferable. Is Corinne like, oh, she locked up? Are you locked up? Corinne is frozen, you guys. She's totally frozen. Okay. Anyway, she was completely based in her response. I loved it. And I love how she just basically put her in her place because there's no reason for her to apologize for being awesome and gorgeous. And we lost Corinne. Hopefully we're going to get her back. So, okay, there's that. All right. So now the country is reeling from the Mamdani win. It's bad and good, the response to Mamdani, depending on who you are. And there was a viral video that was circulating yesterday of a woman that went on and on. My dogs are barking. I'm sorry, you guys. There was a viral video that was circulating yesterday of a woman who is encouraging an Islamic caliphate. And she's offering conversion guidance, which is just, it's insane. Now, some were saying that it's satire, and I honestly don't know. I don't think it's satire, especially because Gen Z they idolize this guy. They love this guy and they're clueless. So here's the video.
Right, y'all, the Islamic Caliphate in New York starts now. That means we are all converting to Islam. I've already got one friend converted tonight. So the lines to begin conversion will begin tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. There will be mosques being built on every single block. But in the meantime, start outside my door. I am happy to help you convert, happy to be there on your journey. If you'd rather do it with somebody else, totally understand. You have to be safe, you have to be comfortable. But I'm so glad to have you, my brothers, my sisters, my siblings, on this journey.
It was weird because she had a "Don't Tread on Me" hat. So I don't think it was satire. I just don't. This is terrifying to me. It's all very terrifying. This next one is definitely real, and it is terrifying.
Katie being dead, it ends with Mamdani winning. Oh, yes. Oh. I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Okay, so the first part of it, she said the day started with Dick Cheney being dead and then Mamdani winning. And she's gleeful about all that. And she actually took the time to film it and then put it out there in the masses, which is, I don't know, the party of celebrating death in every way is just insane to me, but also embracing an Islamo-commie. And these liberal women, especially these white liberal women, it's like they don't even know what they voted for. It's crazy. And yeah, I don't know. The first one may have been satire, but the second one was absolutely not. Totally not. Okay. And then here's a wealthy chick. This is not satire either. This is you can tell she is a well-to-do woman in her swanky New York City apartment who has, obviously benefited from capitalism like all of these women do. And she's super excited. Check this out.
God is happy because look at this. The world is healing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could tell she lives in a really swanky area and she's dressed to the nines and she's beautiful and she's like, oh, I can't wait. And all I can think of is she's going to look, I guess her eyes will look beautiful in a burqa one day. I mean, she just has no idea what's going on. They're clueless, you guys, absolutely clueless. And then on top of that, when it comes to the socialist perspective, does she not understand that she has benefited? She's filming this on an iPhone. She has benefited from capitalism and they voted for communism. I don't think they understand what they're getting into. This guy, okay, this guy is Iranian. He's an Iranian-American. And unlike that other hag who is in Arizona, he gets it. All right. This is a guy, I think he's like a University of Houston guy. I look at him and I think, okay, he understands it, but I feel like he's the minority. You're back.
Welcome to New York's sun. But for real, why are y'all so mad? Calm down. Let them experience it. They have to go through this. Iran went through the same bullshit. Zohran Mamdani is Khomeini point two. Literally. Khomeini fed the same bullshit, same lies, same agendas, straight from the Islamic jihadist playbook, word by word, to the people of Iran. People fell for it. free shit, free this, free that, free food, free electricity, free bus rides, justice for the oppressed. You know how it ended? People do regret it. He destroyed the country, destroyed the economy, destroyed the culture, and people of Iran are fighting against it to this day. 2.7 million people dead. And same thing happened in the Soviet Union. Apparently, some people never read history. They never learn from it. They still fall for the same socialist, communistic bullshit, free shit. Who gonna pay for it? Welcome to New York Sun.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I wish more people would be like him. And you can tell he's from a place where this has happened and he fled it. And he's like, don't do this. And of course, all these like stupid white liberal chicks are like, this is so fantastic. You know, it reminds me of, you know, back in like 2009, Mock and I, when we started our site, we were a part of the Tea Party movement. And I feel like we're seeing this all over again because we used to make bumper stickers that said socialism sucks. And we were all about it. That's what, I mean, it's like deja vu, except worse is what we're seeing now, because everybody, all the young people were like, we want free shit. We want all of this, it's going to be great. Obama is like he's the guy that's going to save us all. And he's promised us all of these wonderful things because everything sucks right now. And so he's going to give us what we're missing. And Mamdani is promising all these young people what I guess is missing for them because they feel like the government is their sugar daddy and the government is going to provide them everything that they ever wanted ever. And we were a part of that. And when Obama took the helm, we saw people with stars in their eyes. And, you know, it's the same vibe. It's just amplified now. And he didn't do that. It's like they don't see it. They don't see history. They don't look back. They just are fed all this crap. And I think a lot of these kids, I think Dinesh D'Souza said it the other day with what's her name, that Brett chick. Some of these kids, they missed out on education with COVID. And then, they are products of the public education system where they're not learning about history. And it shows.
Yeah. And I think there's a general, maybe a global issue with what we value in a person. So someone's charismatic and they're like, oh, I think that person is the one to elect. Because this isn't just a young white people problem. Like Mamdani, I think it was like more than 40% of foreign born voters, so like naturalized citizens, voted for Mamdani. And it was like heavy immigrant population voted for him. And I assume that a lot of these people did come from countries with backgrounds that had video that you played. How that happened. But to that.
She's cutting in and out. Yeah, she's cutting in and out. You guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. You're like cutting it in and out, Corinne. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, okay. So there's another one with this chick talking a bit about Gen Z and Mamdani and the growing desire for communism. So check this one out.
System failed my generation. 75% of voters under the age of 30 supported Mamdani. And there are essentially two types of people in this group. First, there are the people who actually hate America and want to destroy it. The ones they're chanting globalize the Intifada, want to assassinate everyone who makes more money than them, and think it's a tragedy that the Soviet Union collapsed. Then there's another group of people, probably the majority of people, who see that there are legitimate issues with New York City, but the education system has failed them so miserably that they have no idea how to fix it. Like, yes, New York City is extremely expensive, and government policy is largely what has made it that way. So of course, someone who comes in and says, well, everything's just going to be free, sounds great to people who are rightfully concerned about prices but don't know anything about economics or history. But government-controlled rent, grocery stores, and healthcare are not going to make these issues better. Because once the rich people that the Mamdani voters hate so much either leave the city completely or run out of money for the government to take, they're going to first have to deal with lower quality of services and then shortages. And this is all so frustrating for those of us who have either read a book about this stuff or who are even just paying attention to what's happening in, say, our own country in like California, or who are paying attention to other countries that have gone down this path like Venezuela or Cuba. But what's most concerning to me isn't necessarily the economic issues, even though those are going to be an issue. The bigger concern for me is the growing number of people who know what socialism is and know what it leads to, but they want it for America because they hate America and want to destroy it. And the ignorant majority is giving them what they want.
God, that is the worst, is the fact that they're, I mean, back, I think when we were in the Tea Party days, it was more, we want socialism because we want free crap. Now, I think it's a lot of young people saying we want socialism because we hate America. And there is a little bit of a difference. Like I'm seeing more of a turn because we've lived through this before, but it is different and it's amplified. She is a very smart young lady. She gets it. And Charlie Kirk saw this coming. This is a really interesting clip because this is obviously older. And this is when Mamdani came onto the scene, like when he first burst onto the scene, and he's talking to Tucker, and Tucker didn't know who he was. And so this clip is just so interesting. Check it out.
Coming attraction of what is coming next.
Who's Mamdani?
Zohran Mamdani, the Muslim communist that is running for mayor in New York City, who obviously there's a whole rabbit hole we can go down there. He just looks kind of be like central casting, and his ideas are terrible. He wants the city to run the grocery stores, all that. But I think everyone's kind of, not everyone, but most people are missing the point of really what this is. This is yet another distress signal by young people to say, hey, if you're not going to fix our life economically, we're going to get very radical politically. Now, let's take a step back. President Trump won the youth vote in many states across the country, in many battleground states. Now, Tucker, 12, 13 years ago when I started Turning Point, if you would have told me that a Republican running for the presidency would be winning the youth vote in Michigan and in Arizona, I'd say, no way. It's an incomprehensible accomplishment of what President Trump was able to do. One of the reasons he was able to win younger voters and younger men, especially in big numbers, is that they were trying to get their leaders' attention. They said, hey, this guy, Donald Trump, he is pledging to go fix our economic anxiety. He is loud. He is going to get your attention. Donald Trump was a distress signal by a lot of young people, especially young men, that were stuck in a credit-centric renter economy. And again, this is what is the rise of Mamdani. It's just another iteration of this, only from the left.
Yes. I mean, yeah. God, I miss him. He had such a pulse on young America because he was in the trenches with them. And he is basically saying that the left, the youth left, is saying, if you don't fix my life, government, we're going to get radical. They're there. They are there. And you know what? There are lots on the right that are there too. They're becoming very radical on our side as well. And so it's people, I mean, these kids are looking to government to solve problems that government is not there to do, which is a concern for me. And that shows me how our educational system, just parents, people in their lives have failed them, because that is not what government is supposed to do. And there are a lot of people in the Democrat Party that are in complete denial about the communism angle here. Khanna is one of those people. Check this clip out.
Is on the agenda in New York City. And it's not just a word, right? It's a destination. You saw that piece in the Free Press, I'm sure, that they have their own playbook to take over your party and make it purely socialistic. And they picked a mascot who fills that bill perfectly in Mamdani. But you're okay with that because you supported him.
I did support him, but look, Chris, there are a lot of things people can call me. The one thing someone can't call me, a guy who represents Silicon Valley with 5 companies and 50-mile radius of $1 trillion and more, which is literally propping up the entire American economy, is a socialist. I believe in free enterprise. I believe in entrepreneurship. But here's what
Right. And this is the thing. If you're supporting a socialist, then you're probably a socialist. You know, that's how I feel about it. It's like I teach my kids, you are who you surround yourself with. And I feel the same way about Tucker. I do. That's why we're so pissed off about him elevating Nick Fuentes. You know, it's like, if you're going to, so many people on our side are having a hard time with that right now, but like the Khannas of the world, he's a perfect example of that. Oh, I totally support him, but I'm not that. Okay, well then grow a backbone. Like, you endorsed a commie. So what does that make you? If you don't have any principle, that makes you principleless. You're void of morals and principles. If you
But to
endorse a
him,
commie,
it makes him a winner. He's a winner. He won that race, and someone he endorsed won, and that's how they view it. It's like,
it's a
it
win
is
at all
a zero.
costs. Win at all costs.
Yeah, it is a win at all cost game, and for Democrats, I think it always has been, and conservatives, I think, to our credit, are more principled, and we don't feel like that. But I don't know, like, there is a problem with these kids, because a lot of them are wondering what Republicans have conserved for them, what we have done for them. Why is our economy what it is? Why did we have open borders for the last 40 years? Why is school so expensive? Why do I live on credit when illegal immigrants are getting free housing? And it is hard. Like, Charlie is absolutely right. These kids are sending an alarm. This is a check engine light. Like, we have to do something about this, and we have to remind them that we want to win too, and we want to win for you. Like, we want to win for a reason. It's not just about, like, being the better people. We want results out of it.
And they want their leaders to quit being such wimps. And that's when, Mock and I have talked about that for 2 decades, is that the people in our leadership are just, I get being polite, because we are polite, and we're nice people on our side of the aisle, generally nice people, but sometimes you have to not be nice, especially when the other side is dirty and they're getting down and dirty and they're mean and they're scrapping. You got to scrap too. So that's one of the things that I will say that's been hard to watch over the past several years, is a lot of these, that's the shutdown is a perfect example. That's why I say, let's just go balls to the walls and do it. Let's push through and do what we have to do to get our agenda through, because we may not have much more time. I'm sick of being nice. It's time to get things done and not sit around and let them manhandle us so much, because they do that. I feel like they've been doing that for years. I'm kind of tired of being manhandled by them.
Completely agree.
Yeah. No, speaking of people that canoodle with people they shouldn't be canoodling with, maybe, Tucker Carlson wrote a piece in his newsletter about how anti-Semitism isn't a thing, and Mamdani is great, and people are freaking out about that. He said that Mamdani is not an anti-Semite, despite the fact that he is, because he said that he's in support of Hamas, and he didn't condemn October 7th. And there's just a ton of, he's talked about globalizing the Antifada, or he won't condemn that. I mean, he's obviously an anti-Semite, and I'm not really sure exactly why Tucker doesn't want to say that it exists, or he wants to downplay it as much as he is. But he wrote in his newsletter, I think we have an excerpt. We have a clip, and there's an excerpt, and he basically is saying that pro-Israel Americans need anti-Semitism to convince taxpayers to send Israel funding. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that it exists. I also think racism exists. I don't think it exists to the extent that a lot of people will say it does. I do think that there are a lot of people, like that one guy that looks like a Q-tip. I think that there are people like him that will use racism to make a lot of money. Anti-Semitism exists. Racism exists. Those things exist. You can't say that they don't. So I'm not really sure exactly what he's doing there. But in his excerpt, he talked about ethno-narcissism, and how, he called out people like us for being ethno-narcissists. But that really struck me as kind of weird, because I feel like if any group is ethno-narcissist, it would be Muslims, because they come here and they don't want to melt into the melting pot. They want to keep their own traditions, and they want to take over rather than melt. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to me, that shows a lot of ethno-narcissism, and I don't really understand. I don't understand what he's doing. I just don't know what his...
I haven't read that exact newsletter, And I do think that Mamdani is an anti-Semite. The only thing I will say about it is that sometimes I think especially because the left has like abused that term and they call everybody a Nazi and an anti-Semite and anything they can to win elections. I don't know if it's a helpful political note for us to say that he is one instead of, and I think that maybe we made that, we weren't going to win in New York City anyway. That was
right.
a lost cause. But I think, the nonstop cable news coverage was like, Mamdani, the anti-Semite. And it was like, well, we should also probably talk about how he is responding to the call of these kids who are worried about rent prices.
Right.
He's running the campaign based on populist issues. And I think he has all of the wrong solutions, the worst possible solutions. But I think sometimes we get into the trap because he is such a terrible person that we're like, but he's terrible. And all these voters are like, I don't care. They're all terrible.
Yeah. I do think that there was an emphasis on the communism angle, but I don't think people care
Mm-hmm.
about that at all anymore. I think people are delighted to have a communist in office, like anti-Semitism aside. People are delighted. They're like, that's fine. Communism is great. Tucker went on Megyn's, I guess they're on a tour or something together. And he was asked about the Nick Fuentes thing in the interview. And this is what happened there.
In the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seems to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so what do you say to those people who say, why didn't you raise any of that?
Do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with.
I'm going to defer to you because I'm probably not going to be. I have nothing nice to say about that answer.
I do, controversially, I think that is true because we have all built our own platforms. I think this show is a great example of a platform. I would be so mad if Tucker texted you and were like, I do not like the questions that you asked Dinesh D'Souza. And you should have been more harsh on this. And like, why didn't you yell at him about Israel? Because I personally want you to talk about that. And I feel like it is good that our outlets, like our podcasters and stuff, don't have to be edited by the masses. I like that when I watch Chicks on the Right, I know they are chicks on the right. And I don't have to worry that someone else wrote your questions except maybe me.
Yeah. And so
maybe
it's
every
like
now and then
that we're not all policed. I mean,
yes.
that's a good answer, Corinne. It's a good answer. I still think
and I would love you guys to interrogate Nick Fuentes. And that would be a very different interview.
I just would not want to ever talk to that scumbag ever. It's just, I can't. It's gross. He's gross. On the subject of Islam, I live in Texas and it's quickly spreading here. And people like Tucker don't live in Texas. They don't. They have no idea what mass illegal immigration is like. They don't live in areas like me. The Chip Roy was talking about this very thing and how Texas better wake up and get its shit together. My words, not his. But here he is talking about that.
The country completely falls apart. And you said it, and people need to know it. The Muslim Brotherhood in London and in Paris, they recognize that Dallas in particular, Texas, is the epicenter of what they're trying to do for the Islamification of not just Texas, not just America, but the Western Hemisphere.
Big time.
They're planting the seeds here, and we've got to rip those seeds up and get them out of Texas.
Yeah, we really do got to rip the seeds up. Like, it's got to happen. Because I've said this on the show before. That sweet guy that had the University of Houston sweatshirt, I'd love for my daughter to go to University of Houston. She could go there. She'd probably swim there. They have a great swim program. They have great engineering. Don't want her to go there because it's like, you guys, it's just so taken over by, I don't feel safe with her there. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel safe with my daughter in Houston. And that is a terrible thing. I cannot believe I'm actually even saying that because years ago, I would have not said that. And that sucks. And I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. And so we need to do something about it. And here's him speaking more about that. This is another clip from Chip Roy.
This is a real problem, and it's not just to kick the canary in the coal mine. This is actually a full-blown, four-alarm fire. Dearborn's a problem. Minneapolis, Minnesota's a problem. But you've got now the financial capital of the world that is elected an Islamist Marxist, that is obviously a big government, Marxist. But in addition, let's look at the ties to radical Islamists, right? I mean, his own father was writing about the justification of suicide bombers. Mamdani has hung out with, known imams that are, sympathetic to what happened to Israel on October 7th, that are tied to, radical organizations, CARE, the Council for Arab Islamic Relations, who, by the way, has leadership that are unindicted co-conspirators, the Holy Land Foundation, that were also praising October 7th. If you go through all the quotes and all the things that Mamdani was campaigning on, and even in his own rhetoric, he's been very clear about his intentions with the advancement of Sharia law and the Islamification of America. So this is a real issue, fewer than 25 years removed from 9/11. It's a wake-up call, and we need to address it, and not just in New York, right here in Texas, where you've got Epic City, the East Plano Islamic Center, where you've got 300 mosques and more mosques being built every day in Texas than any other state in the union. And this is the rapid advancement of Sharia law, where you have problems, for example, in UK and in Paris and in France, where they're having multiple systems of law, right? They've got Sharia law and their own laws side by side. And that is inconsistent with the Constitution and Western civilization. So we need to address it and address it quickly.
Yep, it's very inconsistent. He is 100% spot on. And in that newsletter that Tucker wrote, he was defending Mamdani. And he's kind of I don't know if I call him a fan, but he's definitely not like, this is probably something to watch out for. I have a problem with that, because I think that he's just something to watch and be cautious of. Conservatives should be like, this is not okay. It's not. Communism, first of all, is a bad thing. It's bad. And then the Islamo-communism together, not okay. It's just something we should be rejecting. I don't like it. This is what happened. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think Chip Roy, we have some disagreements, but he is absolutely correct on this. And every conservative who knows that this is an alarm needs to be so strict on immigration in general, because I think we forget, and we do say I don't hate immigrants. I like that we have a legal immigration system, but this threat of Sharia law is coming through our legal immigration system.
Right.
We have let so many people migrate to the United States who have no common ground with us on philosophy of government at all, or even just like simple things like human rights. They don't agree with us at all, but we let them immigrate through our legal system. These people are not hopping the border. They're not overstaying visas. They're coming over as refugees or as legal immigrants
or students.
And they're changing our system to be something more like the place that they fled. And we have to be so much more picky about who we're letting in, because this is absolutely a threat, and we let it happen.
Yeah, and it's not racist. Right. It's not racist. It's not xenophobic. It's just, it is. Like, other countries do that all the time. They're not called racist and xenophobic. Why is it that America's called that? Sorry about my dog, you guys. Bear is literally losing his mind. I don't know what his problem is.
He's very concerned about Sharia law.
He is so concerned. He's so concerned about it. Okay, so this happened in New York City after Mamdani was elected. This is what happened.
Done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be a part of, Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah.
I just let them in. I just couldn't. You guys are going to have to deal with like 18,000 dogs running around in the background because the barking was driving me crazy. Okay, so that's what happened. And people need to pay attention.
Oh, did you get
I'm back. This
Okay.
is, can you hear me? This has been a show.
Yeah.
So the fact that he said we've been tortured and like stifled somehow, but then we're out. Just stop. So
Not even a little, not even a little bit.
Just
True.
stop. This is like, you're in America. America's awesome. Stop. So people need to pay attention to the UK and look there. One of my favorites. I just love her. Katie Hopkins. You guys know who that is? She's a Brit. She's like the chick from, she was on Glenn Beck recently, and she was talking about, anyways, this is part of the interview that was probably circulating the most, because she was talking about, how people there are going to hit a breaking point for the most part. So check this out.
And demographically, because we are already overrun, power sits with the Muslim religion, power sits with Muslim leaders.
Are you done?
And the government.
Is the nation done?
You know, I'll never say we're done, because we're still here fighting. I believe there will come a time not too far from now when the British people, true British people, will have to make very difficult choices. Either they will flee eastwards to Eastern Europe with our much more stronger Christian neighbours, Poland, Hungary, those countries, or they will seek asylum, flee, try to come to America, or they will stand their ground. But certainly the time of the Crusades will need to come again if we are to return.
What do you mean by that?
We are overrun in every way, in every sense. Demographically, all births, Muslim births outnumber births to every and all other religion. This is no commentary on anyone's religion. This is just pure fact. Our mayors who control funding in our capital cities are Muslim. Mosques are not churches. A mosque is being built at the outermost, tippy-most end of Scotland, and at the furthermost reaches at the end of the other side of our tiny country. This is about a takeover. And of course, America understands, because you have Minneapolis, because you have Dearborn, Michigan, and I see it all the time. These blue centers where they absolutely load it up with multiple occupancy homes so that they take the power, surrounded by a deep red countryside, Minnesota.
Yeah. Barbara Ann thinks that we're mean and creepy. Enjoy your burqa, Barbara Ann.
Yeah, we are those things, definitely.
We are mean and creepy. Welcome. Yeah. So anyways,
she's not being warm, right?
No, she's totally right. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's talking about like a spiritual war. I mean, that's already happening. So if you're offended by that, sorry, dude, I'm right here.
And I feel like the battle for Britain really is closer than the one that we're having, because it is such a small country. It's really like the pressure is building a lot faster. I was in London last fall, and I could definitely. London is a big city, so like I assume there's lots of immigrants there. You just assume, but there's definitely a noticeable tension, and the British people. I don't think they're conservatives at all. Like, they're probably raging liberals, but they are very frustrated with the state of immigration in the country, even the liberals.
Well, they should do something about it. That's the thing.
I think that they will.
That's what's so frustrating. If even the liberals are frustrated with it, I mean, they did that to themselves, and we're doing it to ourselves. And that's why, when I see people fighting ICE, I'm like, you're idiots. You're total idiots at this point. So yeah, that's the thing. We need to pay attention to what's happening in other countries, and we don't need to become that. And she is a perfect example of, listen, you guys are the beacon on the hill. Don't do what we did. Learn from us. Dude, I am right here. You don't need to bark. I'm right here. All right. So the last thing I want to just show you a couple videos on, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but that young women, just white women, liberal women, but young women are just such a huge issue. And I think it's we've talked about how it's an educational issue, but I just, man, we have failed young women in this country. I don't know where the disconnect is. I don't know if I can pinpoint it. I think it's a lot of things, but look at this video of these young women.
You guys could change the Constitution in one way. How would you change it?
Her first gov major.
Georgetown
University.
I was literally going to say legalize abortion. Maybe abortion laws, you know? Rights to abortion, like transgender rights to have surgery without necessarily parental consent. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean you have right to sit there and scream at someone because they choose to change their gender or they love the same sex, things like that.
So should we add trans rights to the Constitution?
Absolutely. Definitely adding in like policies that like make healthcare more accessible for like immigrants as well as like people in low-income communities. I just think we need to get the old white fucks out of power, but that's not really a constitution issue.
Yeah, so that's the future.
That was in DC, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was in Georgetown.
I think so. That's the future, you guys. Okay, so kill all the babies and that's it. That's what they want to do. And then let men into our locker rooms. This is what they want to do. And let's change the Constitution to say that. Okay. All right. And then the possum lady. It's not just young women. It's some of these older women, our age women, right? And they think that the parasites are not people who are taking money. The 40 million people that are on SNAP and that are on welfare. It's the billionaires that are the parasites. Check this out.
Party has done such a good job propagandizing that if you need anything from the government, you're a lazy piece of shit and you're a moocher, when really the parasites and the parasitic people in the country are the billionaires.
Yeah, it's just a white hot take from a rich white lady, isn't it? It's just
I swear, possum lady, this woman is like a psyop. All of a sudden,
I know, right?
Everywhere. I'm so tired of seeing her already.
She is everywhere. Yeah, but the billionaires, the ones who pay the majority of the taxes and provide most of the jobs, they're the innovators. They're the ones out there hustling and they're advancing humanity. They're the parasites. That's her take. That's the take of a liberal woman. Okay. All right, that's it. Okay, so you guys, I don't have any talks for you. I don't. We're going to go through super stickers, and then I'm hopefully going to be hopping a plane. Hopefully, we're going to see, but we're going to go. I don't have some of the ones that she reads, but I will go through the ones that I have here. Marcy Perales, happy Friday. Safe travels, Daisy. Our hearts are with you and Mock this weekend. See you on Monday. Much love. Thank you, Marcy. Brian Brumley, Stormy is not on Ozempic. She's on Oreo. Yes, I think she is. Karen Elliott, I like Oreos too. Karen Elliott, hubby is on schedule so far. Connection still on time. Thank you for the prayers. He's coming from a Denver connection. God bless all travelers. Thank you, Karen. Karen Elliott, sick of Dems. Worst first narrative. Did they think we wanted to stop after that? Worst first means the rest go after that. Enough. GTFO the rest. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means, Karen. Cowpoke Ranch. I used to consider myself right-leaning, but as a rural Black man, I've seen the Republican Party morph into the Klan. Maybe it always was. Sad, really. Please don't leave us, Cowpoke Ranch. Don't do it, because we're not all like that. I know that listen, that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the people who are coming out of the woodwork saying that they're white supremacists and they're very Nazi-esque. I swear to God, we're fighting against that. There are some weirdos, but there's like far right and there's far left. And then there's people like us, and we're here. So don't leave. All right. Don't leave. FFS Jenny O. Daisy, your super pups are just letting you know that Corinne had gone MIA with the barks. Hi, doggy. Solid work. I know, right? You left and they came in. They were barking. Shelly Bolton, for the people who want free stuff always, I have one question. Why do you support slavery? Because apparently you don't think people deserve to be compensated for what they provide to you. Okay, Shelly. Samantha K. Part. Poor Ohio is sandwiched in between two terrorist states, Michigan and New York. Stay vigilant and prep. This will only get worse, unfortunately. I know. Everybody needs to be prepared. Shelly Bolton, just to be clear, I meant if you think people should provide stuff to you without having to pay for it, that's like slavery. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Shelly Ethington, remember when Tucker was fired from Fox and everyone was all up in arms about it because it seemed so random and stupid? Seems like maybe they saw where he was headed. Such a turncoat. Candace too. Yeah, there's some stuff there. Some really weird, dark stuff. Marcus Drake, these refugees didn't flee their home country. They are insurgents. The fact that they're not storming the beaches, toting AK-47s is irrelevant. Okay. C Noons, wishing the young lady that made me a mom and a very happy 33rd birthday tomorrow. Love you, Caitlin Emma. What a pretty name, C Noons.
Aww.
And hugs, prayers to Miriam and family. Shine on, T-Bone. You were a force. Much love. Yes, it's going to be a weekend. Thank you, C Noons, and happy birthday to your sweet girl. FFS Jenny O. Love Bouncy Katie, batshit bonkers Britain hero. I love her too. She came to Trump's inauguration. Very wise voice of the UK. So dangerous for her. I know, right? She's like one of the only ones speaking out. Here's Coda, you guys. Shelly Bolton, y'all did a great job today. Praying for safe travels and Mock's family. Thank you. And all my crazy dogs are in here to like sign us off. We're going to bring it in. You know how Corinne, she only does the side hugs, you guys. That's it. She only does the side hugs. So
I'll hug the dogs.
Right. We're going to be back on Monday. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'm assuming I'm going to be here. You don't need to bark anymore. Do you want to show everybody your face? Look, there's his face. You don't need to bark anymore. You guys, everybody have a fantastic weekend and we will talk to you on Monday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.